AGES Thermal Technology for recovery and processing of petroleum hydrocarbon-laden waste is a game changer. For soil, drill cuttings, SAGD solids, and more, it's changing how we manage industrial waste by turning it into a revenue stream and sending a clear message that oil and environment are both priorities. There has never been a more important time in the world of hydrocarbon extraction and production to address such an important topic. AGES and ThermalTrap is how producers, remediators, and consultants throughout the waste management industry can create value from the waste stream. Can waste remediation technology really elevate environmental leadership, cut costs, and boost your bottom line? Obviously, we are going to say yes. We know the answer is yes, and the reason why it is yes, the reason why it can deliver all three is even more interesting. In this market economy and at this critical time with everything that is going on, how the waste stream gets managed is vital. How every level of the industry uses the waste stream to create additional value at lower cost while enhancing the environment, well, that is where we are going to start today. Soil contaminated by petroleum hydrocarbons results in significant human health, plant life, animal, and environmental defects with rising public concerns. Look, headlines come and go, but the environmental concerns of the public continue to grow. Not just a historical problem, this is a present problem. And it will be a bigger problem next week, next month, and next year. In fact, it will keep getting bigger until it gets addressed. And you will see that the leaders are already moving to get out in front of it. And the reason is clear. It's pretty simple to put this in context. Studies of industrial companies have shown time and time again that there is a consistent link between reputation and revenue. And we're talking about this on a long-term basis. This is not quarterly impact. This is measurable in years. And as you will see, it has other impacts as well. Huge oil sands projects canceled in light of protests over resource development. Major pipeline project approved, but multiple groups launch legal challenge. European financial institutions backing out of new tar sands fossil fuel projects. Environmental assessment times double, triple, more delays expected. It's pretty clear compliance isn't enough. As more and more news stories flood the media, articles, protests, petitions, and the non-stop barrage of images and videos flood social media. Whether supported by evidence or not, no longer matters. The attention, the visibility, the blame has continued to climb to all-time high levels. The pandemic and the ensuing economic challenges may push the stories down for a while, but the attention will return. This is always going to be a topic that remains front and center in many people's daily lives. Let's face it, greenhouse gas is now a household topic. The public perception is impacting the industry at every level. Now, being a household topic is one thing. As it spreads into the investment community, that is something else. Here's the issue. More and more investment sources have some form of environmental or greenhouse gas mandate. Even when they do not, they still become concerned over optics of their investment. Climate, corporate actions, and investment are becoming deeply related and increasingly difficult. Outfits like the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure, the TCFD, the Transition Pathways Initiative, TPI. This is an investor-led group which investigates how companies are preparing for the move to a low-carbon economy. And in a moment, you will see how this has actually created one of the greatest opportunities. An opportunity for producers, for service providers in waste management, and remediation, as well as for consultants throughout the industry. To understand the opportunity, we need to look at what's happening to projects in the industry. In Canada, there's been a 53% decrease in project investment, $150 billion in lost projects between 2014 and 2018. In that same period of time, there was a 50% increase project investment in the United States to to the tune of some $473 billion in new projects. Globally, 36% increase in project investment and $254 billion in new projects. Now, the 2019 data is not in yet, but I can tell you what it's going to show. The drain on Canadian projects continued. Global projects, despite low oil prices, increased. And yes, in 2020, COVID has reduced everything. But the trend is clear, and recovery will only magnify it. What is not clear for some is why. Look, as money poured into the oil sands and development expanded, it did so at the surface, which became a visible focal point for environmentalists. Now, this is not about right and wrong. This is about social pressure. Pressure on people through media and increasingly through the social media. Regulators and politicians respond to public sentiment. This adds up and turns into delays, escalating cost, increased negative attention, and it will continue. Investors and partners are subject to the same pressure and as a result are also stepping away. That leaves two big questions. One, what will happen with public sentiment when COVID-19 fades? And two, when oil prices rise, can and will investment resume? Now that depends deeply on the actions of producers, waste managers, service providers, and consultants. Public sentiment and corporate actions are now the biggest issues for the industry. Right now, leaders are moving ahead with bold steps. Companies like BP, Repsol, Total, Shell, all have announced net zero initiatives beginning with operations and eventually moving through productions and to consumer consumption to move to a net zero greenhouse gas, reduced carbon intensity. Listen, this is keeping the focus firmly on the environment, which is a critical step in enhancing their reputation as leaders. Moving beyond compliance, leading the way, recognizing the power of environment and working with it to leverage that value. Producers need solutions like ThermalTrap that let them hit those impressive environmental targets while maintaining revenue and cutting costs. Those solutions must come from their partners, their service providers, and their consultants. So they need to be leaders too, at all levels and especially in the waste stream because of how visible it is. No one can hit their targets without dealing with the waste stream. For too long, it has been too hard and too expensive to deal with the waste stream. To be an environmental leader, you had to be an economic follower. Not anymore. Dig and dump is not a viable option in a world of environmental leadership. Reduced carbon intensity requires innovation that requires revenue to increase and costs to decrease. ThermalTrap gives visibility to environmental leadership, and because it recovers resaleable oil, it means that environmental leadership no longer comes at the price of profits. Whether it's site operations, safety, waste hauling, tipping fees, distribution, regulation, it's not been getting easier to manage the waste stream. Prices and costs will continue to change. Some will even drop. The overall trend, though, is clear. Environmental impact assessments, for example, over the last 30 years have seen a 7x increase in costs, a 21x increase in time, and 4 times the number of failed applications, and this is becoming a global phenomenon. No matter what is driving these changes, perception or reality, the fact remains that unless leaders in the industry get the support and the solutions that they need, any net zero initiative will fall short or get halted, resulting in a continued downward spiral in the industry. It's time to rethink waste. Waste management solutions that simply achieve compliance are leaving far too much on the table. We all know compliance is necessary. Doing what's expected is just that. It's expected. What isn't expected is moving beyond those obligations to actually add value to the process. It means giving the oil and petrochemical industry the solutions it needs. The operations numbers speak for themselves. 26% lower operating costs, 34% more uptime, 270 times faster than bioremediation, and that's if the bioremediation doesn't fail. AGES engineered ThermalTrap from the beginning with production grade and industrial reliability. It has undergone years of development and refinement. It has been tested and proven with real-world results from production sites with industry partners. SAGD solids, drill cuttings, invert, and other soils have all yielded consistent and excellent results. A highly refined and extremely efficient process keeps energy consumption low and throughput high. The design of the system also eliminates high mechanical wear to reduce maintenance. No other remediation method is as predictable, as complete, and as cost-effective. Our website holds detailed case studies, and AGES engineers can provide site, soil, and sample assessments to show you exactly what you can expect from your current and future projects. Just as with operations, in trucking and disposal, the numbers also speak for themselves. 10 to 40% less truck tonnage, up to a 99% reduction in Class 1 landfill. That means 70 to 75% less tipping fees. There's so many less Class 1 disposal facilities and typically so much more distant. Because of that, every ton of truck material saved has an impact on cost and on the bottom line, and directly lowering GHG production. AGESTHERMALTRAP eliminates the need to truck nearly all of that to a Class 1 facility. Because the processed solids are so fully cleaned, up to 99% of the waste can be diverted to less costly Class 2 disposal. When you combine the lower volume of material to be disposed, the shorter distances for the disposal, and disposal in less expensive facilities, the combined savings are substantial. In a recent pilot site job, ThermalTrap was reducing the material to be trucked by 40%. And because it is now destined for a Class 2 facility, the total distance to be trucked was more than cut in half, resulting in a staggering ton-kilometer reduction of 69.5%. Again, no other remediation method is as predictable, as complete, and as cost-effective, with an ability to recover oil for resale. It's all about protecting your profits. Our website holds detailed case studies, and AGES engineers can provide you with information to show you exactly how your projects can benefit from ThermalTrap. The AGES ThermalTrap functions as a complete system. It deals with solids, gases, and water during the process and extracts the oil which is recovered for resale. This means zero fugitive emissions, up to a 27% reduction in greenhouse gas production, and of course, recovered oil is recovered revenue. Compared to any other remediation process, whether it is incineration, mechanical, bioremediation, they all fall short. ThermalTrap yields zero fugitive emissions, water that is disposable on site, and a low carbon footprint, which is always a better environmental choice. While that alone is enough of a reason to rely on ThermalTrap, it is the only solution which also yields direct revenue. By recovering oil, it is at very least offsetting operating costs, and as prices of oil rise, it will become a net revenue source. Every situation is unique, and our team and partners work with you to understand your revenue recovery, greenhouse gas reductions, carbon offsets and credits, and much more, so you will have a full picture of all that ThermalTrap can do for you. The places where you have the most to gain are the places where you have the most to lose if this is not done right. Detailed case studies on the website and a conversation with our team will show you just how far ThermalTrap can take you to meeting your goals. The AGES ThermalTrap solution has been fully engineered from end to end with detailed analysis so that you can understand exactly how this solution will help you to meet your targets. See and understand the impact on environmental targets for greenhouse gases, energy consumption, carbon intensity, as well as a full understanding of operating costs, capital, return on investment, cost reduction, processing throughput, material disposal volume reduction, and of course, revenue recovery. This gives you the complete picture even before you begin. No other solution gives you more understanding, more certainty, or more results. The benefit to producers is obvious, and of course, they rely on their partners in waste management, the remediators, the consultants, the managers themselves. Being part of bringing this groundbreaking solution to industry, to you and your clients, and to the world, helps establish you as a leader. Whether you are a consultant looking to bring unique solutions to your clients, a remediator wanting to strengthen your position in the market, or a waste manager looking to drive more revenue and offset costs, the AGES ThermalTrap system is for you. Grab some time with our team. Let us show you how you can position yourself as a leader in the industry and stand out from the crowd. Be part of the only solution generating value from the waste stream.